What is up, everybody? Luke Film Boss here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Barbie. And Barbie is just a fun, colorful, fantastic, wonderful movie. I loved it a lot. And I know that there's a lot of political and moral controversy surrounding this film, but in this review, I just want to kind of stay clear of that discussion. In a very soon, at least hopefully soon, future video, I will be having a political discussion about Barbie, where I'm going to be going into what people are saying about the movie, both good and bad, and giving my reaction to them, and then giving my own personal opinions and takes on the Barbie film from that point of view. But in this video, I just want to talk about how wonderful Barbie is as a movie, as a piece of art, as a piece of cinema. I want to start with the visuals. It is so colorful and fun and refreshing to see a movie look like this, like a live action. Like animated movies typically kind of have that more colorful look because it's trying to keep the attention of children. But it's just nice to see it in a live action film. Like, I'm actually kind of happy that this film is live action because it's not supposed to be like the animated Barbie movies. This is supposed to be more of a comedy, satire. It's like supposed to be more of an adult flick. And yet it's still, like, if you are one of those people who is not sure if you should take your kids, it's definitely a movie that adults will appreciate a little bit more because there is definitely those adult jokes and adult themes in the movie. But overall, it's not like one of those movies that you should be like worried about that's going to like be harmful to take your kids to see. Like, it's not that bad of a movie. It's PG-13. It has some, discussion that maybe you should talk with your kids with, I guess. But overall, there's really not any swearing. There's not any sexual content. There's just a few adult jokes, and most of them are like masked, like, so like it's kind of one of those hidden adult jokes, a lot like what Pixar does. So if you don't mind it in Pixar movies, yes, it's a little bit more apparent in Barbie because it is more of an adult film and Pixar was more for kids. It kind of gave me those vibes where it's like the kids probably won't understand what the joke is, but they'll probably just laugh at it because it's written in a funny way and it's acted in a funny way. And then the adults will laugh because they actually get what's going on and what like the joke actually is. And I like that about a movie. Like, it's not a bad movie to take your kids to see. If you want to keep your kids at home and not show them the Barbie movie, that's not bad either, because definitely it's not a kids movie, but it's not a bad movie for a kid to see, in my opinion. So that's just my take on it. Now back to the visuals. The production design, the hairstyling and makeup, and the costume design are all really good looking. Like, sure, they were able to just kind of copy off of the toy line, all the Barbie dream houses and the Barbie outfits, but like, don't undermine the effort and the detail that went into making a life-size Barbie village and all of these wearable Barbie outfits that look fantastic. Like, that is not an easy feat. I don't care who you are. Yes, it might have been easier that they had the toys as the blueprint, but there's still a lot of effort and a lot of, technical things that go into actually making those life size. And so as far as like, there's a lot of discussion as to whether or not Barbie should win or be nominated for Oscars. But I think that there's three categories that Barbie, if it's not nominated, then there's something wrong with the motion picture industry and how they award films. And I think that it's a shoe-in and should definitely win these categories. That's hair and makeup, costume design, and production design. There's a few movies on the horizon like Dune 2 and possibly the new Hunger Games in the costume department that I think might, or Wonka, that might be able to challenge Barbie. But as of now, I don't think we've seen those films. Oppenheimer could definitely win production design, but the costumes, like, they're really good. But like, I mean, Oppenheimer is also one of those movies that could win everything this award season. So back to Barbie. The visuals are great. It's just fun to see a movie that's bright and colorful, and then it just gets you ready for the fun and the humor. It just makes you smile, and it makes you ready to laugh just in the visuals because it's so goofy, but yet it makes sense. Like, this is Barbie world, And it's one of the most magical things I've seen on screen. Like, it is just so well done. It just makes you happy. Almost just makes you happy to look at it. And then you get to the characters, then the cast. There's a lot of cast members. Will Ferrell's in there. There's a lot of other people that are somewhat recognizable, but overall, like, you got Shang-Chi in this movie as one of the Kens. But overall, the standouts definitely are Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, who play Barbie and Ken. They are really good. Like, Ryan Gosling just gives a hilarious, just kind of performance where he melts into the character of Ken in this movie. And Margot Robbie is just fantastic as Barbie. Like, that is like my fan cast for the Barbie movie. And it's what actually happened. Like, I was thinking when I heard Barbie was going to come out, I'm like, I would love to see Margot Robbie. Next thing I know, there's a set photo and it's Margot Robbie is playing Barbie. And I'm like, I'm going to go see that. There's nothing that's going to stop me from seeing the Barbie movie. It's Margot Robbie playing Barbie. Like, no more said. I don't even have to be a Barbie fan. And being that I actually did play with Barbies a little bit as a kid with either cousins or friends that were girls, like, I have a little bit of Barbie knowledge. So yeah, I'm in. Like, Margot Robbie was all I needed to hear. Like, she was fantastic as Harley Quinn. And based on the performances that I've seen, I haven't seen any of her other movies actually, but I've seen a lot of clips and she's just fantastic. Like, I, Tonya is one that stands out. I really want to see that movie. But Margot Robbie is just really good in this role. And she gives an emotional performance. She gives a hilarious performance. She's just a very talented actress. And she just fits the role so well. Like, she was almost like perfectly made, like, to be Harley Quinn and to be Barbie. Like, those are two roles that she was just made for, and she somehow got both of them perfect. It was perfect. And getting into the plot, it's kind of difficult to explain the plot because it's very silly. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you're looking at it from a logical point of view, but it's a fantasy. It's not supposed to. Like, this is a world where Barbie Land exists, and it's a place you can go to from the real world, and the real world is some place you can get to from Barbie World, and Barbie World only exists because the people in the real world made Barbie, and the Barbies only act the way they do because of people in real life playing with Barbies. But even though there's millions of different little girls and anybody, moms, sometimes boys like myself, playing with Barbies in different ways, and yet it doesn't affect how things run in Barbie Land to an extent. Like, obviously, I like how the movie is somewhat self-aware. Like, you have the weird Barbie, who is basically an example of what happens when the kids play with the Barbies too hard. And I love the joke where it's like talking about how kids put their weird Barbies in the splits and stuff. It's like, I did that with the Barbies. I just love putting them in the splits. It's just something fun to do, and it's like, that's acknowledged in the movie. Like, I, as a guy, was able to get some of the humor, some of the Barbie related humor in this movie, and it was just fun. And so yeah, a lot of it doesn't make sense, like why some people's choices in the real world affect things in the Barbie world and why all the millions of others don't. But that's the point. It's silly. It knows that it doesn't make sense, but that's how it was made, because it's a movie where you can travel to Barbie world from the real world. Obviously, it's not all gonna make sense, but that doesn't affect the plot and what this movie ultimately is trying to say throughout its runtime. It's not affecting the emotional beats and the character beats and the hilariousness of the movie. It's just fun. It's got so many references and cleverly written references to Barbie and the company that makes Barbie, Mattel. It's just really, really, really well written. Not perfectly written, and I would say the messaging is where the movie falls a little bit, but there's a lot of things. Now, I'm not going to discuss the messages in this review. I'm not going to discuss them in detail. I will say, from a writing perspective, that was the one thing that was shaky, because there's a lot of good things in this movie. The movie has a lot of good things to say. The problem is it's trying to say way too many things, and it doesn't have a whole lot of focus. So it's like you're kind of confused almost as to what was the point, what was the overall message that the movie was trying to say, because it was saying so much. Not that the things that it was saying were wrong, it just doesn't pack as much of an emotional or meaningful punch because it's telling you one thing that's good, and then it's a completely other thing, and then another. And then you can kind of piece it together and say, okay, this was the overarching thing that the movie was trying to say. But overall, because, it was said it so spread out and so in such unrelated ways throughout the movie, it's kind of confusing. That was the one main problem. But overall, this is a comedy film also, and the humor just lands, for me at least, almost every single time. It was just funny. The movie itself is inherently goofy and inherently cheesy and inherently funny. And then when the actual jokes come in, that just makes it so much better that they actually took the time to make good, payoffs to the jokes and everything, like, at least in my opinion. So I would say Barbie is just a fun time. It's full of good characters that have actual arcs. Ken has an arc, Barbie has an arc, and while yes, they're flawed individuals, as well as a lot of the other characters in the movie, they learn, they grow, and they become better people, which is how writing is supposed to work. You take characters that are flawed, and they become better by the end. They're not supposed to be perfect at the beginning. They're supposed to become better as the movie progresses. And that is one of the strengths, I think, that this movie has. So I have been Luke Film Boss, and I give Barbie a 91% in quality and 89% in enjoyment, because there was a few things with the writing that I thought could have been a bit better. But overall, it's just a great time. And I give Barbie a solid 90. It's a 9 out of 10, 90 out of 100. Barbie is a really, really good movie, and I think you should check it out. So thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to help you be on the lookout for more videos from Luke Film Boss. Bye.